Poking fun at feminists is so easy these days with their microaggressions. Their ability to find misogyny in every conceivable object, and hatred of anything masculine. Apparently feminists have recently been to the UN to try to get them to censor criticism. Writing at Breitbart.com, Milo Yiannopoulos said, in a report released yesterday, entitled Cyber Violence Against Women and Girls, A Global Wake-Up Call, UN Women, the group behind last year's laughable He for She campaign, called on governments to use their licensing prerogative to ensure that telecoms and search engines are only allowed to connect with the public if they supervise content and its dissemination. Supervise content? Secret police anyone? How is this any different from communism? Now if I were to walk in on a women's group presenting something at the UN, I could see them wanting to censor someone hosting an ISIS recruitment video, live stream executions, revenge porn, and child pornography. But no, this is first world feminism we are talking about. What they really want to censor is being criticized. According to feminist culture critic Anita Sarkeesian, who spoke at the event, online harassment doesn't simply consist of what is legal and illegal, but also the day-to-day grind of "you're a liar and you suck," including all of these hate videos that attack us on a regular basis. So I guess someone, somewhere on the internet, dared to tell Anita that she's a liar and that she sucks, much like many thousands of others have, so now she's stamping her feet, like an insolent child, and wants the whole world to accommodate her, or else. This reminds me of a joke. How does a feminist change a light bulb? She stands still, and hears the world revolve round her needs. Of course all of this is cloaked in the Kafkaesque term of cyber violence against women. Feminist activist and professional victim Zoe Quinn, who told the United Nations, there are individuals on YouTube who have made a living off of abusing Anita and I. She didn't name anyone specific, which to me is really surprising because feminists are well known for mob justice, and tactics like calling your employer in hopes of getting you fired. See my video, Canadian Man Faces Jail for Disagreeing with Feminist Bullies, for a stunning example. Now before you start feeling sorry for poor Lil Zoe, realize she makes more than $3,000 a month on the donation site Patreon, and travels the world talking about her harassment story. Nice work if you can get it, but men need not apply. No one would show up for a man's harassment story. For men, it truly is tits or get the F out. These delicate first world feminist wallflowers are both aggressor and victim simultaneously. They throw out purposefully provocative statements, then cry about criticism, and about people trying to silence women's voices. Sorry, but I for one would love to silence stupid voices, and if you happen to be a woman, so be it. Unfortunately in this media environment, it has become perfectly acceptable to say almost anything about straight white males. The UN report released less than a week ago contains a number of attempts to equate critical tweets on the internet with physical violence. So a cyber touch is deemed as equally as harmful as a physical touch, and these UN women go on to claim that cyber violence places a premium on emotional bandwidth. Whatever the hell that means. I'd like to stick my foot up their bandwidth. Then again, why should I be surprised that the UN wastes their time on the feelings of an idiot woman whose only contribution to society is to whine about video games? The UN, much like the group UN Women, has no balls to tackle real and valid humanitarian issues. A quick Google search, and it's easy to find humanitarian disasters that the UN is ignoring. These are just from 2014, but I doubt any of these have improved. Number 5. Eritrea's refugee crisis. Children used as soldiers, slave labor, innocent people routinely abducted, and a shoot-to-kill policy for anyone leaving its borders. Not exactly conducive to a feminist crisscrossing a country to give her talks on how she's a victim of online abuse. Number 4. Cameroon's health crisis. Healthcare on the brink of collapse with 50,000 kids suffering from HIV, and an epidemic of severely underweight children. Meanwhile, in the US, feminists protest a company that doesn't cover an abortion pill in their plan to go along with the 22 different forms of contraception that it does cover. Number 3. The plight of Liberia's children. Liberia is one of the world's hotspots for child trafficking, a euphemism for saying that people there imprison and repeatedly rape kids without a single twinge of conscience. Local orphanages are infamous for prostituting out their inmates, while commercial companies will buy children under the age of 10 to use as slave labor. It's like the country is a gigantic black hole for empathy and hope, and things show no sign of getting better. Of all the rape cases reported to police in 2013, over 2/3 involved children between the ages of 3 and 14. And feminists say that we in North America have a rape culture. Number 2. South Sudan's starving children. In 2014, it was estimated that over 1 million children are on the verge of starvation. In January 2014, some states literally ran out of anything for humans to eat. I'd wager a guess that the women living there don't care about the low number of female heroes in video games. Number 1. The Central African Republic disaster. 1/4 of the population is in urgent danger of starving to death. And that's before we even get to the refugee crisis. Christian and Muslim militias are one wrong move away from triggering a genocide. And we all know what a bang-up job the UN did in Rwanda. During the approximate 100-day period from April 7 to mid-July 1994, an estimated 500,000 to 1 million Rwandans were killed, constituting as much as 70% of the Tutsi and 20% of Rwanda's total population. I strongly suggest checking out the movie, Hotel Rwanda. You probably never heard of some of these places, let alone their problems. But I'm sure you have heard about manspreading, mansplaining, and white cis male privilege. This highlights the utter failure of mainstream media and the feminists. I've certainly heard of the phrase "check your white male privilege" from feminists both online and in the media. Perhaps it is the feminists' white privilege that needs examination. Is it any wonder feminists are criticized as a movement for first world white women? How can they justify even walking into the UN building, let alone wasting the UN's time of such trivial matters? These sorry excuses for women, really need to get their priorities straight. Where were they when Saudi Arabia, a country with a real violence against women problem, was recently selected to chair a key UN human rights panel? But ethical priorities don't seem to be their strong suit. In a world afflicted by a myriad of serious problems, the UN has chosen to focus on the professional whining of privileged and dishonest Western activists. This concludes this article. P.S. Anita, go F yourself with a cactus. And don't come back to Canada, you piece of worthless shit. And, it is 100% my right to say that. Suck it. Suck it hard.